In terms of the experience, I think there are about 5 or 6 of our booths with other partners. miniOrange booth has been getting a lot of traction around our identity suite, not only for humans, but also for non-human agents. There's a lot of interest in AI, agentic AI security.
Hi, you're watching The Mainstream. I am Simran Shiwalkar, your host for today, and this is the 7th edition of the GCC Converge Summit and Awards 2026, brought to you by The Mainstream, powered by miniOrange. I am joined by Mr. Anirban Mukherjee. He is the founder and CEO of miniOrange. Firstly, Mr. Mukherjee, thank you so much for joining us today. I really want to understand about your experience. Let's lead with that. How has the day been for you connecting with a lot of GCC leaders in one platform under one roof?
Since this event is happening in Hyderabad, a lot of GCC leaders from around Hyderabad are here. Hyderabad has done extremely well in the GCC world because it is not only leading in terms of tech capabilities, but is also trying to become innovation hubs of the world. The kind of infrastructure Hyderabad has built, right from the airport to this Cyberabad place and this whole convention center, experience has been awesome. I don't think this kind of infrastructure exists anywhere else in India. In terms of technology, in terms of the experience, I think there are about 5 or 6 of our booths with other partners. miniOrange booth has been getting a lot of traction around our identity suite, not only for humans, but also for non-human agents. There's a lot of interest in AI, agentic AI security. The topic of my speech was on-prem AI, and it is the need of the hour. So a lot of GCCs have reached out to me because they feel if they adopt what I'm preaching, then their data remains private. It doesn't leave their premises. There's also been pending implementation of DPDP Act in India.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of interest from all the GCCs to implement some of this. Now, since it's a global capability center, some of them have their offices in Europe and they're already exposed to GDPR.
Right.
So, but now the similar law applies in India. So they have to implement it. When some of the GCCs are asking me that while implementing my DPDP products, can I also replace their GDPR implementation?
Right.
So that, one partner, one vendor can take care of all of that.
Right.
So it has been wonderful so far.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. You also highlighted agentic AI being the need of the hour and how a lot of, GCCs in India are scaling up, introducing themselves as the GICs. You have been interacting with a lot of leaders since day one, with a lot of GCC leaders, and of course today as well. What are the common challenges that you have observed, any pain areas that are kind of challenges for these leaders, and how is miniOrange able to address these and support their transformation journey?
See, as you know, most of the LLMs of the world are being written in the West.
Right.
West meaning most specifically US.
Right.
China has responded with its own LLM. Europe has one, Mistral. It's in France.
Right.
Cohere came up recently, which is from Canada. And India has responded with the server model. It is becoming very country specific. If you read the news recently, Fable 5 was released by Anthropic. And 2 days later, the American government said you can't give access to any non-American.
Right.
And since they have not done any KYC, who's American, who's not, the entire access was taken away. So it is becoming very country specific. So what miniOrange are promoting in the last several months is on-prem AI, which is take an appropriate AI model, which is appropriate for your use case. For example, for healthcare, we have MedGamma.
Correct.
And then you use it, you install it on-prem, and then you write an agent against that, and then you fine-tune it, tweak it using the data that you have, and you get the same results. So it basically, there's lots of advantages to that. So you have to upfront, the cost will be, you'll have to do a little more planning, and the upfront cost will be a little high because you'll have to have an appliance which can install all of that,
right,
these things. But then overall your cost becomes very predictable.
Correct.
Recently, there was a news that one company, because it did not do very good on configuration of AI usage, is paying $500 million.
Right.
That scenario will never happen. Plus, many of the customers, I go around the world in different conferences, there are only 5 or 6 countries which are developing LLMs. What about the 195 of us,
right,
which are not? So they're worried about, what if they start using an LLM and their licensing is switched off one day.
Correct.
So that scenario won't happen. Your data will not leave your premises. It is very private. And on top of that, you can have an agent discovery, agent policy enforcement and policy writing, agent governance tool that you can do to make sure that all the ROI that you're getting is also being done securely and safely. Right.
Thank you so much for the lovely insights and giving us a glimpse of miniOrange, as a leader as well, emerging leader. With India's GCCs increasingly, driving global R&D, we are now becoming the creators as well, the developers as well, and talent development. What opportunities you see for organizations to kind of maximize their impact and growth?
So a lot of talk was still about technology.
Correct.
The world could care less about technology right now. It cares about business. It cares about ROI. I think that in India and Indians and GCCs, they're all very important. They're generating $100 billion of revenue and employing thousands of us.
Correct.
Still, when the nation versus nation goes, sovereignty becomes very important. So I want the conversation to move away from technology and more about business. And to do that, what happens is like we need to create products out of India, products out of these GCCs, and become product suppliers of this to the rest of the world. I talked about those 5 countries that are leaders in this. The way they're expanding the business, they innovate something and then they share with only the 30 or 40 companies that are their friends.
Right.
Also based in the US. Now the problem is we are becoming more and more dependent on them.
Right.
I would want all the companies in India to stop worrying about profits and invest all of the profits in mainstream innovation, like creating AI models, specific AI models. We don't have to go large language models. We can go small language models, but have those models of our own and then become model and product supplier to the rest of the world, which is 195 countries. Southeast Asia being one of them, maybe Middle East is one of them, Africa, Baltic states, they all need. I was recently in London for InfoSecurity Europe, and the 3 countries, and there was some partner from Baltic states. They said on-prem AI is what I need. And India can become a provider of that.
Thank you so much for sharing that vision with us. And I'm sure the journey for India, when we talk about GCC ecosystem, is about to scale. Thank you once again for joining us. And with that, we conclude. But I definitely look forward to connecting with you again.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.